So, g'day people, how you going? This is Glenn, back with the news reports that the AFP have raided the ABC. So I've not read anything of this today, so here is a news article from the Business Insider. I'm not a journalist, so I'm not even going to bother being a journalist because some of them get some flack. So what is this all about? So on Wednesday, the AFP, which is Australian Federal Police, raided the Sydney offices of the ABC. So they raided in relation to the Afghan files, in which 2017 leaked documents alleged Australian special forces engaged in unlawful killings and gross misconduct, so most likely war crimes, which any government tries to cover up as much as they can, if they can. But in this case, they tried to cover it up, but someone wasn't too happy with it. These are only allegations. I haven't read the files, so I'm not too sure if anyone's been charged. Okay, so this comes after the AFP also raided the journalist Annika Smethurst over the same report of the Afghan files. And it says over reports that the Australian government is considering new surveillance measures on its citizens. Yeah, well, everyone knows that Western democracies are becoming more authoritarian, so they're becoming more using surveillance to spy on their own citizens. So they're trying to restrict what the citizens can do. So the raids in the offices, broadcast over leaks of the documents in 2007, yeah, just as information. So these are the officers, just in normal clothes. And some people going around doing their own business. Okay, ABC reports the raids were related to the Afghan files, a series of 2017 government leaks published by the ABC. So that's the main thing now, published by the ABC. So they actually got the documents somehow. Leaked documents allege that Australian Special Forces engaged in unlawful killings and misconduct in Afghanistan. Yeah, like those war criminals in America that's supposedly going to get a pardon, which is very bad. So I would not like that case to happen here. Okay, includes killing of unarmed African men in 2012, flying of Nazi flags on an Australian Army vehicle. Yeah, that wouldn't go down too well. Okay, journalists said on Twitter that the AFP handed over warrants naming 2 reporters and a new director linked to the publisher of files. So, it's actually a criminal offence to leak or receive confidential or classified documents. It doesn't matter what is actually in them. You can be prosecuted. Okay, in the statement, the raids raised legitimate concerns over freedom of the press. Yeah, well, this actually concerns us. The conduct of our soldiers actually reflects on the Australian values. So, if Australian soldiers are actually going to do bullshit overseas, then that's going to reflect on the Australian government and Australia as itself. Okay, this is a serious development raising legitimate concerns over freedom of the press and proper public scrutiny of national security and defence matters. Okay, so the journalists are just saying that this needs to be scrutinised because it is a misconduct and it should not actually have been put under a veil of secrecy, which I actually believe if your soldiers do something wrong overseas, then the public actually needs to know about it, especially if it involves killing innocent people. Okay, so why did they raid this ABC? Well, as I said before, because this is national security, so the AFP have got a complaint from probably ASIO or the military, don't know, they probably won't say as well. And they are doing an investigation. So they're raiding, they're seeing the extent of the leaks and if anyone has actually committed a crime in Australia. Okay, so the Prime Minister defended the AFP's raise, saying it was not troubled by government agencies upholding federal law. So the government agencies are just following the law. Okay, Australia believes strongly in the freedom of the press and have clear rules for protections for the freedom of the press. Yes, well, those rules are actually being eroded every year. Juice Media had a good video about what was it? Impersonating the government or criticising the government, in which the governments are actually trying to do that, and that's a symptom of authoritarian rule. So let's have a look at so the Afghan files. Okay, what are the Afghan files? So hundreds of pages of secret defence force documents elected ABC, given an unprecedented insight into clandestine operations of Australian Special Forces. Yeah, they should be secret. Until incidents of troops killing unarmed men and children. Then they should not be secret. No. Screw that. Cases, documents have been unveiled as unlawful killings. They're not unlawful, they're fucking war crimes. This comes a day after the ABC reveals the alleged cover-up of killing of an Afghan boy and another alleged incident in which a father and son were shot dead during a raid. That's... I've never been in the military, so I can't really comment on the operations, but I presume when you're edgy and there's enemy all around you, it's going to be hard to assess if you should shoot someone or not. It's a bit hard. I'm not going to comment on it anymore because I don't know. And so the documents, Australian eyes only, AUSEO, suggesting a growing unease at the highest levels of defence about the culture of Australian Special Forces as they prosecute a bloody secretive war against insurgents across a swathe of southern Afghanistan. One of the documents from 2014 refers to ingrained problem in the Special Forces organised culture, including a warrior culture and the willingness of officers to turn a blind eye to poor behaviour. So, there is a problem in the Special Forces. And it's led to these allegations of war crimes. Okay, so the document referred to desensitisation and drifting values among special forces serving in Afghanistan, and a deep division between the two elite units which primarily compose the forces, the SAS, based in Perth, and the 2nd Commando Regiment, based in Sydney. Okay, so 10 incidents between 2009 and 2013, which Special Forces shot insurgents, but also unarmed men and civilians. So it could be a bit like that American soldiers supposed to go on trial for war crimes. I can't remember his name, and his fellow Special Forces actually dobbed him in because he just went around shooting people, apparently. So they just dobbed him in because they were not very happy about his conduct. But that's got nothing to do with this, but yeah, there are similarities. The Australian Defence Force is investigating at least 2 of the incidents as part of an inquiry into the conduct of the Afghan Special Forces. So I reckon the ABC probably should have held on this until these allegations are actually finalised. Okay, The two incidents, both of which occurred in September 2013, are the death of a man and his 6-year-old child during a raid on the house, as revealed yesterday by the ABC, and the killing of a detainee who was alone with an Australian soldier and allegedly tried to use this weapon. Okay, so second one. So a detainee tried to use a soldier. Maybe that could have been self-defense. And if they were raiding a man's house, I'm not too sure if the actual man was actually armed. And definitely the child. They should have taken more care, but in those incidences you can't really judge, because you can't really put yourself there. Okay, another incident in which an Afghan man riding a motorcycle was killed by Australian troops and the female passengers possibly injured. States that Afghan authorities were becoming increasingly agitated over Australia's alleged killing unarmed civilians and a threat to stop working with Australians. So if the Afghans were actually becoming edgy and didn't want to work with Australians, then they had probably some good suspicions. Okay, so pretty much you can read the rest yourself. It's just about Australian soldiers going rogue, and mainly the SAS. Okay. Yep. And this is basically what it is about. So let's go to the end. And that's it. I'll leave a link down below. This is from the ABC, so maybe you go, oh, it's boys, no. So, the Afghan files, then we have AFP raids. This is news, not mail. They have a similar thing that happened with the unions, where the AFP actually raided the unions. It's pretty much well known that this was just a political stunt done by the Liberals to try and get something on the unions. So, yeah. Oh, this is referring to the NBN. So someone leaked some information about the NBN and they raided. So obviously the Liberal government's just going to use the AFP just to try and silence its critics. Okay, so this one is also from the ABC. So pretty much it's all pretty much the ABC. And here we have the Daily Telegraph. Okay, so I can't actually get to that. So you have to pay for that, so I'm not going to pay for it. Screw that. And if we go back, you can see there's probably a lot of information. So all this is about potential war crime by the Australian Special Forces, and someone might be trying to cover it up. That's why they're actually doing the raids. But these raids are just exposing it, and they're actually not covering it up very well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching my crap video. I hope my summaries are pretty understandable. Have an awesome time with your life. And don't get caught up in this, because fascism is coming. It's just part of life, and accept it, okay? Bye-bye.